in the house to talk politics. Can you believe it? It is election night. It's going to be an interesting evening. Really interesting evening, actually. Numbers don't look great so far, but hopefully they get better. This is an election preview discussion, but not your traditional election preview discussion. I'm doing something called some of Trump's greatest hits, and we can sort of talk through them. So, if you're interested in politics, if you're interested in the U.S. election, then join me as we're going to spend the evening going through all the information that's coming in through different sources. Maybe I'll put this on CNN, actually, because they're going to be carrying this all night to get the outcome. Things don't look great so far, Bless up, Drew Ross. Thanks for joining. Drew Ross, thanks for joining. Good evening. Good evening. I can't say the preliminary results look good so far, people, to be honest. If you're an honest man. I mean, the traditional states like Indiana have gone to Trump, as we would expect. Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes as the night progresses. But thanks for joining me. Welcome all comments. Even we'll take phone calls, actually, on the traditional Kranky Live line that I normally utilize. I'm looking at Florida. It doesn't look good. 53-45 so far. But I wanted to make a point because, look, Kamala may lose this election, right? Right now, Georgia is trending Trump. They're saying the independents, who Biden carried by 10 points, Trump is carried by 10 points. So that's a 100% flip in the independents in Georgia, who are the deciders in Georgia. Kind of have split between Democrats and Republicans. So independents are going to play big tonight. Bless up, Ricardo. Thanks for joining. Ricardo, same nervous. Yeah, Ricardo. Well, Ricardo, tomorrow's another day, so no, regardless of what happened, you have to live tomorrow, so. But what we want is for this thing to work out well. Now, it's interesting because I was at a restaurant in Brooklyn this morning and buying some porridge, actually, getting something to eat. And people are talking politics. And there were a couple of Jamaicans in the store. And one of the guys was saying that he's a Trump supporter. He's black, obviously. He's a Trump supporter because he don't believe a woman should be running a country. That's a man's job. And that was his logic. Let's just say we had a very spirited discussion. Okay? A very, very spirited discussion. By the way, people, I'm doing 2 streams for this. I'm going to close out of this one. I have another one set up. I want to run some of Trump's greatest hits. I'm going to jump into that now. But coming back at 8 o'clock on another look, we're going to go to what I call it election night watch along. We have football watch along. We're going to do election watch along. So we're doing this now, but we're going to jump out of this and jump back into the next one. But I want to do some of Trump's greatest hits, actually. Well, what I'm going to do something is some of the more egregious ones, I think. There's about, if you go through different publications, some people got 50, some got 30, 40. But I want to talk through something. I'm going to run a tape and talk through it. And you can see what I'm trying to do here.
Criminals who tried to stop Congress from doing our duty.
Now, this is McConnell.
Was fed.
This is McConnell, obviously, who is the Republican head for the Senate. Obviously, Schumer is the one now because the Democrat have the split vote. Vice President, because the Senate is pretty split. But this is him talking about Trump and what happened on January 6th. Now, part of what's interesting about all of this is, if you go back to 2015 when Trump ran, there were so many people who were anti-Trump, and yet they've all bought into his you-know-what. Because everybody have their own individual situation and things that they want to achieve, and they will sacrifice morality, integrity, anything to justify voting for him with the pretext that it is mainly around the economy. That's what they're focused on. It's no other issue. Now, if you look at the demographics and how that demographic split, white men, and mainly those who maybe not be college educated, but white men across the board are Trump supporters. women of any persuasion, a lot of them, given the abortion issue, are for Kamala. And then you have the different races, right? Blacks are, and a number of black men are voting. I think more black men are voting for Trump than are voting for Kamala. No, what I mean is this. More black men are voting for Trump than they did for Biden, which is interesting. Obviously, she's going to get majority of the black votes in terms of black men, but more black women are voting for Kamala, which that may also affect her, especially in states like Georgia where you're at the margin. Bless up, Dre, DJ. So I'll play this.
Lies. They were provoked by the president and other powerful people. And they tried to use fear and violence to stop a specific proceeding of the first branch of the federal government, which they did not like. But we pressed on. We stood together and said an angry mob would not get veto power over the rule of law in our nation, not even for one night. We certified the people's choice for their 46th president.
January 6th hostages.
Made up of those serving time.
Now, McConnell said it was a mob, right? And Trump is calling them hostages. Now, how could McConnell, who's saying a mob on the government, something which he supports the Constitution, he's supporting somebody when he's saying they're a gang who are on the rampage, and Trump is calling them hostages and heroes.
Time for storming the Capitol. Trump framing them as hostages, patriots.
You see the spirit from the hostages, and that's what they are, as hostages. The first day we get into office, we're going to save our country, and we're going to work with the people to treat those unbelievable patriots.
I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him.
Now, this is Vance, right, who is Trump's VP. This was him back in 2015 talking about Trump, which is really interesting, people. And how you can turn one, it tells you about people and deception and who their true colors are. So long as it's satisfy what I'm trying to achieve, I don't care who the person is and how horrible they are, I'm going to support them.
Current plan is to vote either third party or, as I joke to my wife, I might write in my dog, because that's about as good as it seems. But, I think there's a chance, if I feel like Trump has a really good chance of winning, that I might have to hold my nose and vote for Hillary Clinton. Ultimately, I think I'll probably vote third party. I might vote for this new guy who I really like, Evan McMullin, who I actually met the other day. But I think that I'm going to vote third party, because I can't stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious and is leading the white working class to a very dark place.
Including Director of National Intelligence Dan Coates, that Russia
So here's what's interesting, people. Anybody else does this. Like, I find it's amazing. If you're as seasoned as I am, meaning that you're a little bit there in age, you'd realize that at one point Russia was a stark enemy, right? Reagan years come down to Bush and Clinton, even the Obama era. Now, Trump has a relationship with Putin, and there's some view that Putin has tapes on him, hidden tapes. And that's why he supports Putin as much as he does. But he likes dictators, right? Like the president of Hungary, like Putin, like North Korea's leader. He likes those individuals because they're undemocratic environment that country they're operating in. And he likes to dominate and he likes to control. But what's interesting about this is he's saying things that's contrary to his own intelligence community, his own people, taking the opposite side. Most people would say that's a traitor. If Obama did this, they'd lynch him. If Obama supported January 6th, they'd lynch him. Seriously. So this is interesting.
feared. President Trump asked, who do you believe, President Putin or the U.S. intelligence community? His answer?
People came to me, Dan Coates came to me, and some others. They said they think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be.
And the president complimented.
Do we hear that? The man is countering his own intelligence to support Putin, and he's the president, and he's not destroyed by Republicans who are supposed to be all about America and want to make it great again, when the person who's supposed to be their leader is contrary to his own country. And it's okay with them because it's a cult.
getting an offer from Putin. Instead of turning over the indicted Russian agents, Russian officials would question the agents themselves, with special counsel Bob Mueller present.
I have great confidence in my intelligence people, but I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today. And what he did is an incredible offer. He offered to have the people working on the case come and work with their investigators with respect to the 12 people. I think that's an incredible offer.
Tonight, the president's own intelligence chief.
So Putin is playing like a puppy. As Putin is very, very smart, brilliant person, right? Was one of the bureau spy, was part of the spy group for Russia. And he just playing him like a little person, frankly.
And coach shot back with a rare rebuke. We have been clear in our assessment of Russian meddling in the 2016 election, and we will continue to provide unvarnished and objective intelligence in support of our national security. Critics like former Obama CIA Director John Brennan unleashing.
It's something that is a disgrace, and that all Americans should be ashamed of that performance of somebody who holds the title of President of the United States.
Election meddling.
Can you imagine Brogard taking the side of any other country against Jamaica? So Money Pro, I don't know if you're Jamaican or not, but can you imagine Brogard doing that? The Prime Minister of Jamaica taking the side of, say, Trinidad or somebody against his own people? They'd lose their mind. You guys would lose your mind. That's what Trump is doing. And for a lot of people, it's okay.
Among the flashpoints that have helped sink U.S.-Russia relations, others include Russia's illegal occupation of Crimea and its backing of a Syrian regime that used chemical weapons. But this morning, President Trump blaming tensions on the U.S. and the Mueller investigation. Tweeting, "Our relationship with Russia has never been worse thanks to many years of U.S. foolishness and stupidity. And now, the rigged witch hunt." Today asked, does he think Putin bears any responsibility?
Yes, I do. I hold both countries responsible. I think that the United States has been foolish. I think that the probe is a disaster for our country. I think it's kept us apart. It's kept us separated. There was no collusion at all. Everybody knows it. People are being brought out to the fore. So far that I know, virtually none of it related to the campaign. And they're going to have to try really hard to find somebody that did relate to the campaign. That was a clean campaign. I beat Hillary Clinton easily. And frankly, we beat her.
Putin revealing for the first time who he wanted to win.
President Putin, did you want President Trump to win the election?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Because he talked about bringing the Russian relationship back to normal, Putin said.
Was there anything behind it, or was he just being honest at that moment?
I think he was being honest, and I think he wants to cooperate with Trump. I think Trump is somebody that he thinks will do a lot of good for Russia.
But that was just the beginning. Trump stoking more fear about migrants at the southern border. Trump at one point saying they're not people.
Can you imagine anybody, any place in the world, saying a human being is not people? Like, really? And we think that's okay. And those who support Trump think it's okay. When you say it's not people, meaning anyone who is not Caucasian is not people. That's what he's basically saying.
I don't know if you call them people. In some cases, they're not people, in my opinion, but I'm not allowed to say that because the radical left says that's a terrible thing to say. These are bad. These are animals.
And while blasting the auto industry's foreign manufacturing and embrace of electric vehicles, the former president making this comment.
Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country.
A top Trump advisor taking to.
Now, do you think when he says bloodbath, you think he was talking about in terms of the auto industry, or he's talking about the country going at war because he loses?
To clean that up, saying he was referring only to the auto industry, writing that President Joe Biden's insane EV mandate will slaughter the American auto industry. The Biden campaign seizing on Trump's statement to accuse the president's Republican rival of threatening political violence and wanting another January 6th.
To make some people mad right now. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be, from what the statement.
This is Donnie Swaggart, who is the son of Jimmy Swaggart, that famous preacher. And it's interesting that the certain part of the electorate, which is supposed to be Christians, evangelicals, support Trump, given how evil he is in every respect. And that's why I don't have any respect for religion. Seriously, it's one of the reasons why you see me not being a religious person, because it's a good thing to be in a religion. It's support a community. It's part of good stuff, but it's people like him are just reprehensible.
I'm going to be called a racist, and I will be called every name under the sun. But somebody needs to stand up and speak to the black church. When the largest African American Pentecostal denomination, when that leader stands up and said, I endorse that woman, he was saying, I endorse murder. I endorse homosexuality. I endorse lesbianism. I endorse transgenderism. I endorse every evil that hell could prosper or bring up to the right. That's wrong, folks. And the black church votes predominantly for the party that is anti-God. What's going on here? What's going on? See, my statement to them is this.
What does God have to do with anything he just said? How is that anti-God? Huh? What does God have to do with anything he just said?
We've had them call into the program. I don't like it when you talk about how said. Well, no, the problem is they don't like it because we're stepping on their toes. Hello? But I guarantee you, if 1860 was today, they wouldn't say a word about preachers preaching against slavery. They would trumpet it, and they should. So then, why will not the African American church stand up for righteousness and stand up for the Word of God? Come on, church. Come on. You can call me a racist. You can call me every name under the sun, but I am right.
No, we're calling you a redneck. That's what we call you. I call him racist. Call you a redneck. Maybe they're one and the same.
I'm against you in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. You don't vote for somebody just because mama voted him or daddy voted for them, but you vote according to the Word of God. Come out from among them and be ye separate.
So I have this here to show you. This is Trump with Epstein and Epstein's mistress, and they're the ones who were preying on young girls for years. And he and Trump, this is him and Trump, buddies. Man was a pedophile, and he was meant to be in a lot of those environments that Epstein was in. This is Donald Trump. There ain't no mistaking about it. So the Trump we know from New York from back in the 80s is still the same Trump. He's just not president. It's amazing. This is Epstein who hung himself in jail. And this is Trump and Melanie. See? All good. So what I'm trying to make on this video is that, and I haven't touched upon things about Mexicans and Muslims and teasing McCain about going to Vietnam when he had burst, something wrong with his foot or something, which he came up with as a way of avoiding military service. There's so much thing that he has done. The list is so long, you can't go through the list. So when some of you who are saying you're a Trump supporter because he's better for the economy, one is I'm going to say this, which is you don't know if Trump is better for the economy or not, because Trump inherited Obama's economy, right? And then ran it in the ground. Obviously, COVID have implications for that. And when you go into a severe depressive situation, when you have declining productivity and you have supply-demand imbalance, of course you're going to end up where we ended up, which we're not coming out of. Inflation is going down. Employment has been up for a number of different quarters now. Things are getting better. Oil prices are going down. So at the end of the day, when people talk about what policies does Kamala has, What did she do as vice president? I'll ask them. What did Dick Cheney do? What did Mike Pence do? What did Joe Biden do? Vice presidents are to be seen but not heard. Mr. Yee says Trump for president. Yeah, I don't know who you are, Mr. Yee, but if you support Trump, it's your prerogative. I think if you're black, though, you're uninformed. If you're not black, it's up to you. But if you're black, you're uninformed. And I feel sorry for you. Okay, if you believe Trump supports you, you're totally crazy. Trump don't like any race but his own. And he's shown that over the years, and it's no different. And yes, he probably may win tonight, because normally a lot of times if the economy is not booming and the incumbent hasn't addressed two key issues, which is the border and the economy, of course he's probably going to do well, right? Of course he's probably going to win. But it's to be seen. But my concern is when I look at some of these initial prognostication and looking at where we are is the whole Georgia situation. Biden scraped in Georgia last time. Right now, it's pretty early. They're not a lot of votes counted, about 700,000. That's a lot, actually. And Trump is leading quite a bit in Georgia. Early voting in North Carolina. You see Kamala is leading. I'm watching CNN, by the way, people. Probably try to get another channel up. But right now I'm watching CNN. So they're showing you early results, and they're pretty early. So we don't know how these things are going to end up, right? Last time Trump was leading quite a bit against Biden, and things change. Now, historically, the Democrats will do better early because they do a lot of early voting. It doesn't look this way this time. And if Trump wins, then you guys who voted for Trump own it. Democrats love gays, all the LGBTs, bullshit, etc. Hey. I think you should. I don't think the Bible says you should hate anyone, does it? Those of you who like to quote the Bible as your means of saying homosexuality is wrong and all that, and someone who said that I'll get to. So no can't run off on the more all the time. Someone who are closet homosexuals, but don't like to beat down people. I'll say this about that, which is it's your prerogative who you want to hate. But some people hate you because you're black, and it's their prerogative, isn't it? So you're gonna hate people who are gays, but people hate you because you're black, and you fight against that. You should fight against hate no matter where the hate resides. You should fight against hate because people are human beings and they have their preferences. If you don't like it, you don't have to deal with it. All right? Say both of them support genocide. I disagree with that, Holmes. So here's my view on that. If you're a Kamala, you have to maintain the current course because the Jewish vote is more than the Muslim vote. That's a fact. So no matter what you hear, people are saying she's playing it smart. I know her husband is Jewish, but if you notice, when Netanyahu went to Congress to speak, she didn't turn up because she doesn't agree with that. But can she come out and be openly want to change the dialogue and say, no, she support XYZ? Then she just asking to lose the race. You know how much Jewish voters we have in Pennsylvania? You know how much Jewish voters we have in New York? That's suicide. If you want to be president to change things, you have to wait until the election is over. After tonight, if she wins tonight, I bet you she'll change the next day about Gaza. If she wins tonight, she's going to change tomorrow about Gaza. And if the Muslims don't realize that, they're not as smart as I think they are. People are born black, but they're not born gay. So, hey, Christo, how do you know that? Hey, Christo, how do you know that? You don't know that, Christo. You know, one fun thing I realized about YouTube, that's why sometimes I think about going off YouTube. The illogical arguments people make, it's unreal. And they actually come out in public. And I was talking to somebody today who was saying that a woman can't lead this country, a woman can't run this country, a man is supposed to be in charge. And I said to him, well, I hope you're not talking about Jamaicans, because if those men are not in the house, a man has to lead the household. Half the Jamaican men in the goddamn household. Half the Jamaican men are not in the household. They have 2 or 3 different households. And they're not supporting none of those households, financial or otherwise. And those of you who don't think that's true, go check the stats. Half the Jamaican men ain't supporting nothing. They impregnate the woman them and then go about them business. And so the kid grew up in a household woman. So women are taking care of the household. Most households are run by women. And you guys don't like to hear the truth. You and your macho self. That's why I don't get burned so much. You want to macho self. Macho self. And not do the right thing. If you're a man, then act like a man. Get a girl pregnant, you support the girl. But no, we don't do that. We just run our mouths. You hate gays, you hate this, No foul, no, so only gay yourself. That's why I worry about it. Look at the Catholic Church. It's supposed to be religious. How much pedophile we see in the Catholic Church? It's pervasive. They paid out billions of dollars, and they are against homosexuality. Isn't that weird? And most of them in there are homosexual. It's amazing how that works. I hate the person's action, not the person. Okay, hey, it's your prerogative, right? Jamaica's a very homophobic country with a lot of people who are gay in the country. I have nothing against people based on their persuasion. That's their business. Nothing. If you're gay, you're gay. That's your prerogative. That's your lifestyle you want to live. We have nothing against you. If you hate somebody because of who their sexuality is, you are the problem, not them. And some people tell me, well, Kranky, you can't open your channel. And I keep telling people, if you don't like my views, you don't have to watch me. Go watch somebody else. If you're going to hate somebody because they have a different sexuality, because they like somebody who's similar sex, you're going to hate somebody because they're Indian, you're going to hate somebody who's kind of white, you're coming to the wrong channel. I'm not hating on anybody. And those of you who want to hate on people because of their persuasion or their race, go look in the goddamn mirror. That's a problem. Kranky Democrat, figure. Yeah, so you support Trump, Romaine. Why am I not surprised? You support Trump, Romaine. And I've said this before, I'm not taking back my comment. If you're black and you support Trump, you're one of the most uninformed person on earth. And I will if I want to sit down. If you're black and support Trump, you are very much uninformed. And I can't have good discourse with you because you don't know what you're talking about. And a lot of you are like that. And you like beat your chest and you're macho. And you don't realize that you don't know nothing. You think you know enough, you don't know nothing. You're uninformed. You want to talk about certain topics that you never educated yourself on. You have never read a book. You just watch TV and watch YouTube, and you want to tell people them to live and do it. If you want to stop Trump, that's make America great again. When was America ever great? Why is it that people in America, even Kamala says this, why does he have to be the greatest country on earth? Well, how is that important? Why is that important? I hear Kamala saying the same thing. Why is that important? And why do you think you're going to make you great again? No, it's making America white again. Don't confuse the term. Okay? Don't confuse the term. It's not make America great again. It's make America white again. That's why Elon Musk is trying to have 20 kids because they want to increase the birth rate because they want to maintain majority. I'm not gay or think these guys. Yes, I don't disagree with you, Merrick. We have a lot of hypocrites in this world. A lot of hypocrites. A lot of people who, you know what? They just make the whole question of humanity comes into play, and we think about some of these people. A lot of people are very uninformed, and they'll say, well, Kranky, like you know everything. Very uninformed people, very uninformed, and it's disturbingly uninformed, and prejudice, racist, xenophobic, anti everything, and you just wonder, do they ever look in the mirror? What's the logical about you're born a boy, you're born black, being gay is a choice, and choosing a stupid gender, identify crazy? Why do you care, Nkungu? It's not you. Why do you care? Why does it bother you so much? Do you know anything about life? Do you know if God exists? Do you know if God exists? So people say they support God, they're God. You don't even know, you don't know anything. You think you know, but you don't. You hear anything about church and Bible. Who wrote the Bible? How you know when some man trying to manipulate people write the Bible? Yeah? The Bible is a very good book. I'm not an atheist, but I sure the hell don't believe in that Bible. I have too many contradictions in it. And they try to explain all the contradictions, you have to laugh. You have to laugh. When I was growing up, they said there were 13 planets. Not that much more. You know what you know. I know everything? No, I know what I know. So I must say what I know. Romaine, we're not saying the Democratic Party is a perfect party, but it's maybe the lesser of two evils. And I know the evil when I see it. And Nkungu, no, you're the smarter one, Nkungu. You hate people who are gay. You dislike people who are gay. You don't like people who are Democrats. You guys don't like, you like what you like. But if you like Trump, and if you support Trump, I must say it again. You're uninformed. You're uninformed. Now, if you grew up in a society, when I grew up in Jamaica, homophobia was at its zenith. It ain't even that much now. It was on its zenith. And you're taught certain things. I left Jamaica. I'd go to other countries and I said to myself, Why am I hating on anybody? Because I've worked in an environment people hate on me because I'm black. I come to this country, people hate on me because I'm black. And I'm going to have the audacity to want to hate somebody because they have a different sexuality? What the hell am I thinking? Why would I even do that? What have they done to me? It makes no sense. Kranky, we care because gays are forcing their nasty on kids. So Romaine, don't take this personal, but no fauna, especially in Jamaica, go deal with the underage girl them. 15, 16. Only think that's okay? Let's flip it around. They're kids. Would you like your daughter to be doing some 40-year-old man who was 16 or 15? No found no nasty the same way. When I talk about gear and them do them thing, no found no nasty the same way. When you mesh with a 15-year-old and you're 40 and 35, you think that's okay? No nasty the same way. That's a pedophile. And Jamaica them do it enough. So when you guys want to come up with this utopian view of life, when you come up with this view of it, you're holier than thou, and you have morality. No lack morality the same way. So is dealing with a 15-year-old by 40-year-old, is that wrong, Romaine? Is that wrong? Or do you believe that should be done? Because Jamaica, I see enough of that occur. Enough. I don't know what your file is, Romaine. Enough. Yeah, I'm taking, you know what? I'm going to close this down, people. I'm going to close this down and start the next channel because I have a 8 o'clock on the next one. So I'm going to close this down and come back right away. All right? So we'll continue the conversation. And Romaine, you can beat me up when you're done, Romaine. I know it's a very touchy topic. So I'm going to close it down, people. Thanks for joining. And I'm going to go and start the next stream. All right? Give me 5 minutes. Don't go nowhere. Just flip over to Kranky Live again because we still have another stream. All right? Don't go nowhere, people. Just switch over. See you in a bit.